It was a little long, but it was fine. What's up, everybody? So let's talk about Wicked for Good, directed by John M. Chu, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. I liked it. I wouldn't say it's iconic or timeless. I wouldn't put it in the same category as other musicals like Grease or West Side Story. Um, but it was good. I had a good time watching it. I liked the continuation of this story. There were still really interesting things being done between Glinda the Good Witch and Elphaba. I thought these two have really, really great chemistry. I know they're kind of getting a little, they're like overwhelming us with their relationship and the marketing material and the interviews that they give. They're great together on screen. I had only heard of Ariana Grande uh, maybe a little bit before this movie came out. It's like I'm not a young person anymore, so I'm not watching Disney and all that she did growing up in it. So I was pleasantly surprised in the first one, especially with her comedic timing, with her comedic performance. She does have more of a little bit less of that in the sequel, but what she does is still really, really great. Still a great singer. She's got a great set of pipes on her, just like Cynthia Erivo, an amazing, amazing vocalist. And it's really nice to kind of see how their relationship in this movie has become even more complicated. The movie picks up some time after the first one, so I actually would recommend watch part one before you watch this part two, just to kind of catch up on some things. And it's kind of really interesting how it's become like almost a meditation on propaganda and public perception. There's a lot of that going on. I mean, I knew of this story back when it was on Broadway, and I had a bunch of theater friends that were huge fans of it and that would play the soundtrack constantly. And it was fun. I didn't mind it. It wasn't exactly my thing. Uh, but I had a good time with, especially Defying Gravity, just like one of the great songs ever, I think, in all of musicals. And I think the thing about For Good is like the music is actually like it's passable, it's entertaining, but there's nothing really that is in the same kind of realm or category as Defying Gravity. That song just kind of reaches heights, literally and figuratively, that most other songs don't. At least the previous movie had Popular, which is a really cool little song, but there's nothing in this one that I would say sticks out to me. Um, I think the love triangle aspect, even though it was kind of hinted at in the first movie, and you have a little bit of that going on, I just found it boring. It wasn't interesting to me. I didn't really care. It's like, okay, you're kind of promised to marry the good witch, but you're attracted to the quote unquote bad witch, and ooh, I don't know what to do. It just, I mean, it's even the actor. I don't even remember his name. His character and performance was not exactly memorable. So, eh. um, and towards the end, especially the last maybe 40 minutes, and this is a long movie. It's almost 3 hours long. Those last 40 minutes, even as long as the movie is, it feels like that last 40 minutes needed. I wish it was longer because I felt like they shoehorned in so many things, particularly with making the connection with the original Wizard of Oz. Everything just kind of came boom, 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 and there's no time to kind of let those moments breathe and sit with you as an audience member. It's just kind of like fanfare. It's kind of like, oh yes, and oh yes, and oh yes. So the scene doesn't have a chance to kind of marinate and develop over time. It's just like this happened and this happened and this happened. So it's almost like, all right, let's hurry up and check things off of the box so that we make sure that this story is clearly connected to the Wizard of Oz story. And so for that reason, it's like, okay, there's the tone shift in that way was not very consistent because it just felt like, okay, let's hurry up and do this. The production design is great. It's just as good as the first one. I think it's the same team and person that put together the production design. So the world looks amazing. The color palette is incredible. But I think story-wise, I think if they had just not had that aspect where it's connecting to the Wizard of Oz and just kept it particularly focused on Galinda and Elphaba's relationship and how that kind of fell apart, I think that would have made for a much tighter story to be told. But I still recommend it. I think you'll have a good time. You'll really enjoy it if this is your thing, if you really enjoy musicals, and if you really enjoy the Wicked musical, I think you'll have a good time seeing it on the big screen. Anyways, what about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.